Yeah, I think first of all, Andrew, what's really important is like, why do people even care about data quality? Why do people care about data governance? And one of the things that we see is just how costly it can be when you have poor quality data, right? And there's lots of different information out there. You know, there's information saying poor data quality costs the US 3.1 trillion, average organizations cost them 12.9 trillion. So it's an expensive thing to have poor quality data. And that's why we can't just have people doing whatever they want with their data, inputting it however they want, handling it however they want, right? So we have to have a strong data governance strategy. And data governance strategy is a pretty broad term, like you said. You know, you've got to make sure you've got accessible, transparent data. You've got to make sure you've got the knowledge within your organization on how to handle data. You've got to have roles, responsibilities, ownership at different stages of the data process. Importantly, you've got to have security, right? We all know how important security is, whether it's a regulated environment, you're handling customer data, and so on. And overall, you need to have this high quality data so you can make effective decisions for the business. But underlying all of that, we simplify it back to three key things. You've got to have the people, the process, and the technology. One of those things alone is not going to be sufficient. You need to have all three of those things together. So, Andrew, that's kind of how I think about data governance.
Yeah, and I would agree with that. And I think it really is an organizational philosophy, or really it needs to be. Like you said, one of these pillars is not enough. You can have your data checks, and that's a great place to start. If you have nothing, then at least start with some measurements, some KPIs that you can work with. But unless everyone in the organization understands the importance of that data, if the people themselves don't feel responsible, your tests are almost bound to fail. And whatever technological solutions you put in place won't really come anywhere, or they'll constantly be finding the same things over again. So really that whole process, all the way from the very top, whether you have a CDO, a data officer setting guidelines, those guidelines need to be implemented, followed. And then ultimately technology is, to my mind, the way to measure that. And the way we do that here in our tooling, I think what you see with your customers is there's a fairly standard set of tests or type of tests that we can talk about.